Hi and welcome. This is your Everything Microsoft Enterprise Cloud Architect, and I'm Rob Thomas. Today I'm going to cover Microsoft Entra User Management Part 3 and the final series on user management. Before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, and that's going to be our software dudes, which is Enterprise Software Solution. These guys are amazing. If you have any need to purchase Microsoft 365, Microsoft Dynamics, Microsoft Azure, Copilot, Power BI, Microsoft SQL Server, or a Microsoft Windows Server, and some Cisco and Adobe products, I highly recommend reaching out to these guys. They are great. You can see all their customers and sponsors, and I recommend them. They're wonderful. Mention Rob Thomas sent you. So without further ado, let's get into it. So now I know we were able to cover a lot of great things. We covered user management in our previous videos, how to create a user, how to invite external users. Then we covered deleting a user, permanently deleting a user, resetting the password, and restoring the user. So we covered all those steps. So today I'm going to talk about assigning a role to the user. And you notice that in a couple of videos, we got to the section where I'm going to assign a role. And then I paused because I really wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the whole journey with users when it comes to assigning roles and what that looks like from a role standpoint. All right. Now, let's just dig into it. So I'm going to jump back into the interface. You already know, you go to login.microsoft, you get to this page, put a username and password, you click in the admin, it'll take you here. Once you're here, you click show all, you click identity, and you're in, right? So you're in, you're going to start at this page. So you see, this is where we left off last. We with these users. So let's go back to all users. So I'm able to get to all users, and I really like creating users. I'll probably create another user, and I'll do one and another one. But let's say you were creating a user, and you'll say Tammy Doe. And just one thing you notice is when you're just in here playing around, it gets really easy. Like, at first you're scared because you've never done this before, and you're like, I don't know. And then boom, before you know it, you're in here. If you're an expert, you're an expert. You're just doing this all the time. I'll say Tammy is a marketing manager, and let's add her manager. I'm gonna say her manager is possibly Andrew. All right, so I'm going to assign a manager to her, which is really cool because I can do that before. I'm going to add a group. And then if I scroll down here, I'm going to click select, add that group. And then this is where we all got stuck, right? Because we didn't go into the details adding a role and what all of that means. Like why are adding roles? Why is that so important? Like what value are you getting out from the whole role setup assignment, right? So it's a key part to keeping your organization data safe and making sure that the right people have the right access, right? So, I mean, understanding roles. I mean, really, what is a role? It's like in Microsoft Entra ID, role determines who a user can, what a user can see and can't do, and there's two parts of the role. It's an eligible role. These are assigned to a user, but must be activated through privileged identity management, or PIM, and think of it as an on-demand role, right? And then the other one is an active role. These roles are always available, no steps needed, right? Or no additional steps needed. One pro tip: instead of assigning roles to individual users every time, consider using groups. It's an easier way when managing permissions at scale. So I can assign roles to a group like here, and then that person, as long as they're in a group, they can have that. Now I can assign roles immediately. This is just a great way to control how they're getting in, what they're doing, and what's happening. So let's say this marketing manager, I'm going to give them, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give them, I'm going to pretend like they're a application developer, right? And they have that. So now I selected that, and then boom, they have the role, right? Now I'm ready to create. So I'm going to create and review. See this, and I'm going to click create. Now, remember, we go to refresh, and then boom, Tammy Doe is ready to go. Right now I can click on Tammy and edit her. Like, hey, I didn't put in all this content. And here's another way. I showed you in edit profiles, but I showed you in here, edit properties. I can go into properties and I can change things here. So this is another way you can update some information, right? I go here and see what roles are assigned to Tammy. So you can see Tammy has some assigned roles. Oh, this is pretty cool. I could filter on, if I had a lot of roles she was assigned to, I filter on a role. Let's say I want to add an assignment. So I'm going to go to directory role. I forgot to add that one, so I added it. Boom. Now she has the ability, right, to have the AI administrator. So it took a second to update. Now she has 2 roles. Oh, wait. I just got her email and requirement. Like, she needs to be, she's part of Azure DevOps team. So you need to give her the Azure DevOps administrator role so she can see Azure stuff. So, boom, I found it right there. And then, she needs to also see, let's say, a directory reader. So she needs to just kind of like read and see stuff in the directory. And I'm like, boom, we'll give her that. So now I've added to 2. So now she has 4 roles. So you can see here, right? Give it a sec. Well, it's taking a little longer. And while we give it some time for that to populate. All right, there we go. So boom. So now Tammy has access to these roles, right? Which is really, really powerful. So I want to end there because we covered a lot. We went over a lot of detail, but I do want to bring us back to the concept of Encarta ID, right? What is it? Entra ID. So with Entra, basically, this thing is powerful. You are using Entra to actively figure out a way to collaborate and interact on the Active Directory concept, which has been around forever. Like, Active Directory has been around for ages. But now you're using this to actively get yourself out there to make it easier to control adding users, giving users access to applications, instead of you trying to manage different username and passwords with different apps and so forth. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this is valuable. I hope you got a lot out of this. I was able to just walk you through this and give you some insight and encourage you to go in and basically start using Entra ID and leveling up. I do recommend you get P1 or P2 and then start using more features and capabilities, right? And as you saw, it was pretty cheap. It wasn't ridiculous. So I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tech tips, and see you in the next one. Bye.